Shalom and good evening, everyone. All, all praise to the Most High. I am back. Okay, I want to get straight to the point. We have a lot of material to review this evening because the word for tonight is the message to Babylon, which is America, and to the Hebrew Israelites. And we're going to take a focus or a look at the Most High calendar, for we are in the 6th month known as Elul. And my spirit has been stirred up is to look at the book of Baruch, the book of Baruch. And you will see why. Because again, there's nothing new underneath the sun. For the what was, which is the past, the what is, which is the present, and the what yet to come, they all go hand in hand. So to understand the present and the future, you have to understand the past first. That's where it begins first. So this evening, for those who have a copy of the King James 1611 Bible, I want you to go ahead and turn open to the book of Baruch that's listed in the Apocrypha, and we're going to start with chapter 1. In the video description box, there are some very important prophetic messages that our Father has spoken himself, as well as through his messengers, who are giving us things that has come to pass or will soon come into their fullness, y'all. For those who have access to the Facebook channel, I highly recommend that you go on my channel and go through the timeline. I'm trying to remember what was published. I know now. There was a prophecy given unto a pastor named Pastor Dana. I want you to go to the comment section and look at what my brother wrote. Our Father has too given him dreams about what is coming to America, which is known as Babylon. She is the mystery woman, the harlot that sits upon the beast that's written in Revelation chapter 17. So you get a chance, check that out. Also, when you listen to YAHUAH prophetic messages, I want you, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to see. Okay, this is the one. All right. I want you to print out those messages because there's a lot of deep spiritual meaning in those messages, and you can hear our Father speaking. Okay. And lastly, we're going to look at the Most High calendar first. So let me take you to that screen first. Let me see. Let me go to this one. There we go. Let me take this off. Okay. And we are in the Most High 6th month. Now, a while back, I had told y'all is that each month in his calendar, y'all, especially when we look at the months that deals with his holy days and holy feast days, and other months that deal with certain biblical events, what the Father has been teaching me, there are deep spiritual messages in those months. Remember, the carnal go in hand with the spiritual. So on the Most High calendar, we are going to take a look at the 6th month. Okay, that's what we're going to take a look at. It's the 6th month. Now, in the Hebrew tongue, it's known as Elul. Okay, and you can find that in the book of Nehemiah, chapter 6, verse 15. All right. Now, on the heathens calendar, month, it started in the month of August to September. Remember, the Father calendar is different from the heathens calendar, from Satan's calendar. Remember, the Father calendar is based upon the 3 lights in the heavens, which are the sun, the moon, and Mazzaroth. Okay? Very important to remember that. So when you understand these 3 lights and how they work together, you will understand why his calendar rotates on the heathens calendar. Forgive me for my tongue, y'all. You will also understand why, for example, his day began between their days. For example, they start at midnight, but we start at sundown. That's how we start our day. Same thing with his year. His year begins between their year, such as we start our beginning of the year in the spring season, while the heathens start their year in the winter season. Very big difference. Okay. So we're looking at the 6th month, and one of the events, biblical events that stood out, and what I recommend unto you, my brothers and sisters, for those who have the time, you need to reflect on the Babylonian captivity. There was 4 significant events that the Father have us to keep. Okay, that's dealing with the biblical captivity, right? That's 4. And these 4 significant events have a deep spiritual meaning. But tonight we're going to focus on the 6th month. Okay. Let me bring this cursor over. There we go. So I don't know on your end, but if someone can let me know if your screen is blinking, like blinking on and off, I want to make sure that you can see this very well. So we're looking at the 6th month, which is over here to your far right. Okay. And the biblical event I'm talking about that's happening now in the 6th month is it occurred on day 8 of the moon, which fall on the sun's 6th month and 5th day. And for this year, it falls on the heathen day, which was August the 26th to August the 27th. And the biblical event I'm talking about, this is the day when Yahrushalem is destroyed by the Romans. It is completely desolated now. Okay, it has been deceived. This is the 2nd desolation. Now, question unto you: what is the 1st desolation? What is the 1st desolation? Okay, good. Thank you, sis. The 1st desolation is it. Oh, I'm sorry. The 1st desolation of Yahrushalem occurred by the Babylonians. Okay. All right. Something to think about, something to meditate on. But this is the 2nd desolation of Yahrushalem. And what I mean by that, this is the 2nd time when the temple and the city is destroyed. Okay? The temple and the city is destroyed. Okay? It's very important to know. Okay. So the thing you want to look at, remember our Father talks, he talks through numbers, he talks through the letters, he talks through the words. You know, if we really meditate on these things, we can see the spiritual message he's given us. For example, notice that this event takes place in the 6th month, which revolves the number 6. What else should the number 6 remind you of? It should remind you of the day that Adam fell, the day that Adam transgressed against the Most High, and he lost his, what's the proper word I could say? He lost his, I'm trying to think of the word, y'all, because if you understand who Adam is, you will begin to understand what he lost. He lost his, I'm trying to think of a word, y'all, to describe it. He lost his place. I'm sorry, y'all. My mind going blank. Hold on. I got to find a word. Because when you understand who Adam is, then you understand what Adam lost. Okay? Then you understand why the Messiah had to come to restore what Adam lost. Okay? And this loss I'm talking about is something so significant. It is so important. All right? So Adam lost his place among the Holy Family. And that's all I can say on that for right now. For those who are babes who do not understand what I'm saying, you got to go back to Genesis, and then you have to go to the gospel to understand what Adam lost. Because the Messiah restored back unto Adam, and he even gave an example. But he lost his place among the Holy Family that would put him in a position to have authority or rulership upon the earth. Okay? All right. So the number 6 should remind you the fall of Adam. All right, which go along with what? The desolation or the destruction of Yahrushalem. Can't you see on that day that Satan and his children was rejoicing, but yet they could not see the plan within the plan that our Father had. See, remember, all things happen to the good of Yah. All things. All right. And when you understand why the Father would allow his holy city and his sacred temple to be destroyed, then you will understand the greater plan that he had within there. I'm sorry, then you understand the greater plan that he had that will follow after this desolation. Okay? Something very important to think about, which makes sense why this particular biblical event will fall in the 6th month. And it's done by the hands of the Romans, which we know to this day, as the prophet Daniel has written, that we are in the 4th beast kingdom, which is Rome. And we know our brother Esau or Edom is ruling. And we know that the Gentile nation has joined him in this rulership. We also know that the cup that was placed upon Israel to drink is now being passed on to the other nations to drink now. And the cup I'm talking about is dealing with the wrath and judgment of Yahuwah. You will find information on that by the prophet Isaiah. Let me find that chapter for you this evening so you can go back and read that, because then you begin to understand Revelation. Then you begin to understand those who are having dreams and vision about America destruction, whether it pertains to the Statue of Liberty or whether it pertains to a symbol of America. You will begin to understand why this is so. Okay? You will find it in Isaiah. I'm getting close to there now. Isaiah chapter 51. Isaiah chapter 51. Let me type that in for y'all right quick. The cup given to the other nations. Isaiah chapter 51. Okay. Now going back to the calendar. So this month, we have learned now, this is the destruction of Yahrushalem by the Romans. And as I was meditating on this month, my spirit was stirred to read the book of Baruch. Now, the book of Baruch was written in a time when my ancestor was in the Babylonian captivity under Nebuchadnezzar rule. But when I read the book of Baruch, I began to understand why my spirit was stirred to read it, because there is a future prophecy that the Israelites need to hear, and that America needs to hear as well. All right. Also, when I read the book of Luke, when I read the book of Baruch, another hidden gem was shown unto me. And that hidden gem will relate to some other significant events that Josephus talks about, as well as the Bible may touch on it, but I know it's clearly defined in Josephus that none of the Gentiles knew about this event and why they did it. Do you hear me, Hebrew Israelite? They didn't understand why the Israelite kept a fast in this particular month. And we're going to talk about it briefly when we go to the book of Baruch. Okay? So now I want you to open your Bibles and go to the book of Baruch. And we're going to start at chapter 1. For those who do not have access to the King James 1611, I want you to go to the video description box and click on the link. Okay? Now let us begin. Baruch chapter 1. Now there are some names I cannot pronounce, so I would just say that first letter of that name so we can read this smoothly. Okay? Baruch chapter 1. Baruch wrote a book in Babylon. The Jews, they wept at the reading of it. They send money and the book to the brethren at Yahrushalem. Verse 1. And these are the words of the book, which Baruch, the son of En, the son of M, the son of S, the son of A, the son of C, wrote in Babylon. In the 5th year, in the 7th day of the month, what time as the Chaldeans took Yahrushalem and burned it with fire. Now, you will find in the book of the prophets and in the work of Josephus, there is a slight difference, but the confirmation day is the 5th month and 10th day. The 5th month and 10th day. That is FYI. Okay, let us continue to read. Verse 3. And Baruch did read the words of this book in the hearing of J, the son of J, king of Judah, and in the ears of all the people that came to hear the book. Okay. And in the hearing of the nobles and of the king's sons, and in the hearing of the elders, and all the people from the lowest unto the highest, even of all them that dwelt at Babylon by the river Sud. Whereupon they wept, fast, and prayed before YAHUAH. Now that verse you want to highlight because there is a fast that our people did that, what's the word that I'm looking for, y'all? That has not been brought to our attention. Okay? So highlight that verse right there. Verse 5. Highlight that. Whereupon they wept, fast, and prayed before YAHUAH. They made also a collection of money according to every man's power. So they took up an offering. Okay. So they collected some money. And they sent it to Yahrushalem unto J, the high priest, the son of C, son of S, and to the priests, and to all the people which were found with him at Yahrushalem. So as we see here, they sent some money unto Yahrushalem, and they were fasting, y'all. Let us continue to read. At the same time, when he received the vessels of the house of Yahuwah that were carried out of the temple to return them into the land of Judah, the 10th day of the month Sivan, namely silver vessels, which Es, the son of Josias, king of Judah, had made. After that, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, had carried away J and the princes and the captives and the mighty men and the people of the land from Yahrushalem and brought them unto Babylon. Now you want to reflect back to verse 8, okay? Because we're getting an important biblical event, an important fast that our people kept, and it's giving us the date. So in verse 8, when our people was what? When it was weeping, fasting, and praying unto the Father, they sent an offering back to Yahrushalem, okay? And this occurred at the same time which happened in Sivan on the 10th day. So Sivan, which is the 3rd month in the Most High calendar, on the 10th day, we have a fast. All right. So I had now added that biblical event to the Most High calendar. And you're going to see why it's important for us to know about this fast, because it relates to some other biblical events that would take place in the history of the Israelites. And one of them deal with King Herod. I'll give you a hint on that. Because you will learn, when you learn about the history of the Israelites, the Most High allows certain things to happen in the same month and on the same day. And it's a reason for that. Like I tell you, when you meditate and you go before him, you begin to learn the deeper spiritual things and why the Father allows certain events to happen on the same day and the same month. Okay? But let us keep reading. We're going to verse 10. And they said, behold, we have sent you money to buy you burnt offerings and sin offerings and incense, and prepare ye manna and offer and offer upon the altar of Yahuwah, our Elohim, and pray for the life of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and for the life of Balthazar, his son, that their days may be upon earth as the days of heaven. Now y'all need to ask yourself, Israelite, why would our people pray for Gentiles? Gentiles who are kings or who are in a leadership position. Will you understand that all things work out to the good of Yah? Do you understand why our ancestors would pray for the life of a Gentile king and of his son? Okay? But we're going to get some more understanding of this. All right? God is telling me to remind you, remember Genesis. Remember Joseph, the son of Jacob. Verse 12. And Yahuwah will give us strength and lighten our eyes, and we shall live under the shadow of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, under the shadow of Belshazzar, his son, and we shall serve them many days and find favor in their sight. Now, to understand, how do one get favor in one's sight? Again, this is by spirit. It is not by your hand. Remember Daniel? Daniel was given great favor among King Nebuchadnezzar. But it's not because of what Daniel did by his hand. It's because when we tell you about our Father in heaven, we know he's a spirit. And he can cause a hardened heart to be unhardened. He can put in one's heart to have favor upon you. That's where this favor comes from. Okay? Because our people have the understanding that our Father can still operate through any king. Remember, it was our Father in heaven who stirred up Nebuchadnezzar to what? To destroy Yahrushalem, to besiege it. Our Father did that. Okay? So now it should give you some comfort about this time that we're in now, what these presidents we're going through, such as President Trump. Why are you worried? Why are you look with no hope when we know our Father in heaven can cause all things to work out to his will, despite how evil one can be? We got to understand the power of our Father in heaven. Okay? And stop putting our faith and trust in man and learn how to listen to the Spirit and ask the Spirit, what is your will here in this matter? Okay? Because the Father can see further down the road than what we can see. Let us keep going. Verse 13. Pray for us also unto YAHUAH our Elohim, for we have sinned against YAHUAH our Elohim, and unto this day the fury of YAHUAH and his wrath is not turned from us. And ye shall read this book, which we have sent unto you, to make confession in the house of YAHUAH upon the feasts and solemn days. See, there in that captivity, our people were taking ownership of their evils, of their transgressions. Okay? And they're doing this out of faith. All right? Even though the city was what? Desolated by the ancient Babylonians, they still sent what? Their prayers up to heaven. They still sent what? Their offerings back to their homeland, hoping and praying that their Father in heaven will what? Forgive them and turn back their captivity. All right, let us keep reading. Verse 15. And ye shall say to YAHUAH our Elohim, belongeth righteousness, but unto us the confusion of faces, as it is come to pass this day, unto them of Judah, and to the inhabitants of Yahrushalem, and to our kings, and to our princes, and to our priests, and to our prophets, and to our fathers. For we have sinned before YAHUAH, and disobeyed him, and have not hearkened unto the voice of YAHUAH our Elohim, to walk in the commandments that he gave us openly. Since the day that YAHUAH brought our forefathers out of the land of Egypt unto this present day, we have been disobedient unto YAHUAH our Elohim. We have been negligent in not hearing his voice. Do y'all hear this? Because I've seen it again. What's done in the past is happening again. Like King Solomon say, there's nothing new beneath the sun. Are we hearing his voice? Do you hear me, Hebrew Israelites? Let us keep reading. Verse 20. Wherefore the evils cleave unto us, and the curse which YAHUAH appointed by Moses his servant at the time that he brought our fathers out of the land of Egypt, to give us a land that flow with milk and honey, like as it is to see this day. Nevertheless, we have not hearkened unto the voice of YAHUAH our Elohim, according to all the words of the prophets whom he sent unto us. Do you all hear this, Israelites and Gentiles? Are we doing this now? He has sent what? Prophets and prophetess unto us, and we still will not hear his voice. I have to bring this up again. Remember YAHUAH prophetic message. I have been to many, especially to my brethren, and they will not share that message. Again, they have their own agenda, their own will, but they do not hear the Spirit. Let us keep going. Verse 22. But every man followeth the imagination of his own wicked heart, to serve strange gods and to do evil in the sight of Yahuwah, our Elohim. You want to highlight verse 22 because this especially go towards my brethren, because since we are awakened, I see a lot of finger pointing. But if you will read the history of the Israelites, especially Isaiah chapter 3 with its precepts that's listed, y'all, and with Torah, with the curses that's listed, many of the brethren want to point their finger at the sisters. And it breaks my heart that you don't see the deep spiritual things that our Father is saying unto you, my brother. Y'all want to complain about your sisters, but you're not taking time out to ask this question. Why would the Father allow a woman to rule over you? Why would the Father allow your children to be your oppressor? Because it was done before, y'all. This is nothing new. What is happening to us now in Babylon, known as America, and throughout the world, there's nothing new. It happened before. Read Isaiah chapter 3. I got to put that in there. And for those who have a copy of that 1611, when you read Isaiah chapter 3, you will see he did it then. Yes, he did it then. Okay, you put that in the comment box. And our brethren are missing the message. You're not hearing the spirit. I know you have been hurt. I know you have been stripped of your headship. I know you have been made to feel less of a man. But you got to ask yourself, why, Father, did you allow this to happen? What's going on here? Because your word said what? That the man is the head of the woman, right? But you need to ask the Father, why, Father, will you allow this to happen? See, this is the question that our brother is failing to ask. Because when you ask the Father why, you begin to understand why you was punished like that. Okay? You begin to understand it. And it dealing with this, the imagination of your own wicked heart. See, some of y'all in your messages, when I go on YouTube to look at, the feed channel, I can see what it's already about. Because a lot of your messages are out of season. Some of my brethren is preaching the same old, and they're not looking at the signs that are taking place in the heavens and in the earth. So they're preaching out of season. They're giving you a message out of season. They're giving you a message that will not get you into the kingdom of heaven. They are more concerned about carnal things than the spiritual things. And they have not graduated. So when you meditate on this, my brother, it was your Father in heaven that put the woman over you. It was your Father in heaven that made your children your oppressors. And when you read the book and you allowed the Spirit to teach you, you will understand why he allowed it to happen, even though it was out of order. It's dealing with, did you love him? Because if you had loved him, you would not have done it to him. So he's giving you a taste of your own medicine. And when you begin to understand why he did it, you will stop pointing the finger and you will get in line with him. Do you understand, my brother? Many miss that message. All right, let's keep going because we got 2 more chapters to look at, and this is something prophetical that we want to go tonight. We're going to look at chapter 2. Okay. We're not going to read a whole chapter 2, but in your spare time, I recommend that you do so. The whole book of Baruch is very good to read, especially in this season that we are in now. Baruch chapter 2, we're going to start with on the summary first. The prayer and confession which the Jews at Babylon made and sent in that book unto the brethren at Yahrushalem. Okay. Paul is telling me to remind you, remember there was many different biblical events that deals with the Babylonians and the Jews. Okay. So go back and review so you can understand about the timing of this event, okay, that took place. Okay, and it gave you the timing. It gave you that it happened in the 5th year, in the 7th day of the month, what time as the Chaldean took Yahrushalem, and that was in the 5th month, I believe, if I got it right. It's either the 5th month or the 10th month. I want to say it's the 5th month, okay? And they burned it with fire. It was the 5th month, okay? But this particular event that we're reading now happened in the 5th year, okay, from that time. All right. I'm just looking at something, make sure I'm reading this right. But let us keep going. Like I said, just go back and review that paragraph, and then you can line up that particular timing of that event. But it happened in the fast happened in the 3rd month in the 10th day. Now we're going to look at verse 28 in chapter 2, because this is something that is prophetical. And you look at this. This was mentioned in the time of to the Israelites when it was in the ancient Babylonian captivity. And we also know Torah bear witness of this as well. Everything go hand in hand. Okay, verse 28. As thou spakest by the servant Moses in the day when thou didst command him to write thy law before the children of Israel, saying, if ye would not hear my voice, there he go again. If ye would not hear my voice, surely this very great multitude shall be turned into a small number among the nations where I will scatter them. Okay. There are some precepts I would take you to look at with these verses. Notice it what our Father said. If you will not hear my voice, I will scatter you among the nations. Verse 30. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of that captivities, they shall remember themselves. Like I said, our Father always got a plan within a plan. He has a reason for why he does what he do, because like he told the high priest Ezra, you should inquire of me about not what's going to happen to the wicked, but inquire of me how I should save the righteous. See, Father knew what he was doing. So because his people would not hear his voice, and you know what they did to his prophets. They turned a deaf ear and they did wicked things to his prophets. He said, what? I'm going to scatter you, and I'm going to put you in captivity among the heathen. Okay. So right here, we look at verse 30. We see here, our people are very stiff-necked. That means they are very stubborn. All right. And the Most High said that once he placed them in the land of their captivities, then they shall remember themselves. And he goes on to say, and I shall know that I am YAHUAH the God. For I give them an heart and ears to hear. See, when they are in captivity, just like what we're in now, it makes us bethink and to remember our Father in heaven. It also makes us what? To remember who we are. Okay? Like I said, Father know what he's doing. All right? Let me read verse 31 again. And shall know that I am YAHUAH their God, for I give them a heart and ears to hear. And they shall praise me in the land of their captivity and think upon my name. Because y'all know when we are in times of trouble, don't we call on our Father in heaven most often than ever before? It's something about when you're in trouble, that trouble push you more closer to Yahuwah and to his son, Yahushua HaMashiach, the Messiah. Do you see what this captivity, what it's supposed to do for us Israelites? It is to edify, it is to edify us, to purify us, to try us, because he knows what he's doing in his vineyard. This captivity should not make you bitter. Do you hear me, Israelites? Because that bitterness will put what? Hatred in your heart. And that hatred will make your heart harden to the point where you cannot hear the Spirit, and you will not understand why the Father did what he did. And you will not see it was him that allowed these things to happen. You will begin to place the blame game, okay? Such as pointing to your sisters, such as pointing to the heathens, but not looking at the whole matter, not seeing for what it really is, okay? So let me read verse 32 again. And they shall praise me in the land of their captivity. That is so true. And think upon my name, and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds. For they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sinned before Yahuwah. And I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And they shall be lords of it, and I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished. Do y'all hear this? This is the future prophecy. You will see what I mean by that when I read the next verse. But see what he said unto us, Israelites. He's going to what? Set us free. And he's going to restore you back to your proper place. And you shall be the ruling nation in the earth. And he will what? Increase your nation. You shall multiply again. You shall be numerous. And this time, no harm, or you will not be diminished anymore. Let us read verse 35. And I will make an everlasting covenant with them to be their God, and they shall be my people. And I will no more drive my people of Israel out of the land that I had given them. So we know when we read this section of Baruch in chapter 2, this is dealing with a future prophecy. We can see what the Father's doing. He's preparing things, y'all. He's stirring things up. He's giving many dreams and visions and telling us about the Exodus, the gathering that would take place. It's coming to the bride of the Messiah, to the 144,000, and to the nation of Israel. We got one more chapter to go that I want to take you to. And that would be chapter 4. And I need to read that whole chapter. So let us keep going. We're going to Baruch chapter 4. And then we should end with that chapter tonight. Okay, Baruch chapter 4. Again, as the title say, the message to Babylon and to the Hebrew Israelites. Now here we're getting to the message to Babylon, the Babylon of today. I want y'all to hear this. And not only to Babylon, it also goes to the other nations / tribes of the earth. Okay? Baruch chapter 4. The book of commandments is that wisdom which was commanded in the former chapter. The Jews are moved to patience and to hope for the deliverance. Okay? Verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of Yahuwah, and the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. Now that's one verse you want to highlight. Remember I told y'all that the Most High commandments, that the word today called the law, they are instructions to what? To give you life that shall lead to what? Eternal life. Remember, there's a carnal and there's a spiritual part, and they go hand in hand. But when you understand the spiritual message, when you understand Torah, you will learn that these things was to what? Give us life. But those who turn their back on his instruction, they should be led to a path of death and destruction. They shall die. Okay? Because remember, Adam lost a sacred thing. And because he lost that sacred thing, death came in. Remember, Adam was made to be immortal. Immortal. That was the Father's original plan for Adam. He was to never die. But because he fell and he lost that sacred thing, he became mortal. Death came in. Verse 2. Turn thee, O Jacob, and take heed of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mayest be illuminated. Now, many do not understand that mystery about illuminated, but Daniel touched on it. Remember, he shall try them and purify them, and through that it shall make them white. It shall make them Leban. They shall become such a mystery that many do not understand. Verse 3. Give not thy honor to another, nor the things that are profitable unto thee to a strange nation. See, a strange nation, which we call the heathens, they don't understand these sacred things, because Israel, do you hear me? You was married to the Father, and he made you the firstborn son. Do you understand that mystery about the firstborn son? It's not Ephraim, his firstborn son. Is not Israel his firstborn son? Okay, so he's telling you he has given you sacred things. Do not give that unto the strange nations, because they're not going to understand that. Do not give your honor that should be given unto him to another God. Okay, very important, because when you understand the history of Adam, do you will understand these strange nations, why they rejected our Father in heaven, and why they would not understand these sacred things. It is first given to you, Israel, and through you, you shall lead the sons of Adam back to our Father in heaven. Okay? Verse 4. O Israel, happy are we, for things that are pleasing unto Yahuwah are made known unto us. Be of good cheer, my people. The memorial of Israel, ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction. Oh, y'all, we get into a good message here. Do you hear that? We were sold to the nations, not for our destruction, but because you moved God to wrath. You was delivered unto the enemies. Remember, I'm telling y'all, the Father got a plan within a plan. Let's keep reading. So we were sold to the nations, not for our destruction, but because we moved our Father in heaven to wrath, we were delivered unto the enemies. For we provoked Yahuwah, that made us, y'all, by sacrifices unto devils and not unto him. Verse 8. Ye have forgotten the everlasting Yahuwah that brought you up, and ye have grieved Yahrushalem that nourished you. For when she saw the wrath of Yahuwah coming upon you, she said, hearken, O ye that dwell about Zion, Yahuwah hath brought upon me great mourning. For I saw the captivity of my sons and daughters, which the everlasting brought upon them. Do y'all hear that? Yahrushalem is mourning over you, Israel. Verse 11, with joy did I nourish them, but sent them away with weeping and mourning. Let no man rejoice over me, a widow. See, Yahrushalem is a widow now, and forsaken of many, who for the sins of my children am I left desolate, because they departed from the law of YAHUAH. They knew not his statutes, nor walked in the ways of his commandments, nor trod in the paths of discipline in his righteousness. Let them that dwell about Zion come, and remember ye the captivities of my sons and daughters, which the everlasting have brought upon them. For he hath brought a nation upon them from far, a shameless nation, and of a strange language, who neither reverence old man nor pity child. Do y'all hear that, Israelites? Don't that sound very familiar? Very familiar. Did not that happen unto us? A shameless nation, a nation that will not even repent of the evils they have done unto us, a nation that has taught us to speak their strange language. Verse 16, these had carried away the dear beloved children of the widow, and left her that was alone, desolate without daughters. But what can I help you? For he that brought these plagues upon you will deliver you from the hands of your enemies. Do you hear what Yahrushalem is saying unto you, Israelites? The one that brought the plagues upon us is the same one that will deliver us from our enemies. Do you hear that, America? You need to hear this. Go your way, O my children, go your way, for I am left desolate. I have put off the clothing of peace, and put upon me the sackcloth of my prayer. I will cry unto the everlasting in my days. Be of good cheer, O my children. Cry unto YAHUAH, and he shall deliver you from the power and hand of the enemies. Do you hear this? This I'll be telling y'all. A lot of y'all doing things out of your own will, and you're not hearing what the Spirit telling you to do. He's the only one that can deliver us, because we are dealing with principalities. We're dealing with spirits of darkness. And it's going to take a spirit for a spirit. It's going to take the Son of God. Okay? Let us keep reading. Verse 22. For my hope is in the everlasting, that he will save you. And joy is come unto me from the Holy One, because of the mercy which shall soon come unto you from the everlasting our Savior. For I sent you out with mourning and weeping, but YAHUAH will give you to me again with joy and gladness forever. Y'all, that is so beautiful. Verse 24. Like as now the neighbors of Zion have seen your captivity, so shall they see shortly your salvation from our God. Do y'all hear that? Who is that salvation that they shall soon see? Isaiah 11 talks about that salvation. The ensign that's upon the mount. He is the salvation of God. He is the one that was witnessed and seen by those in the temple. Read the book of Luke. Read the book of Psalms chapter 98. For he shall be seen. So shall they see shortly your salvation from our God. So he comes from our Father from heaven, which shall come upon you with great glory and brightness of the everlasting. Who is that one that would come in great glory and brightness of the everlasting? Who is that one that bear our Father's name? Who is that one that would come from the east and would shine like the sun? But he would shine so brightly. Who is he? Verse 25, my children, suffer patiently the wrath that is come upon you from Yahuwah. Do you hear that, y'all? Oh my goodness. This is something that's hard to hear. But we got to understand what our Father's doing in this captivity. Do you hear me, Israelites? He said, Yahrushalem is telling unto us, suffer patiently the wrath that has come upon you from our God. So we got to what? Suffer patiently. That's one of the fruits of the Spirit. Suffer patiently. Long suffering. Patient. It's a reason for why the Father's doing what he's doing and why he's allowing these things to happen. Okay? For thy enemy has persecuted thee, but shortly thou shalt see his destruction and shalt tread upon his neck. Do you hear what Baruch was saying unto us? He says, suffer patiently. But the time will come, the wicked will be destroyed, and we shall tread upon his neck. Will you understand this verse? And will you understand why our Father is doing what he's doing? Do you understand that he has not forgotten? He has not forsaken you. He loves you. But he's doing a great work upon you. You cannot receive your inheritance until you graduate. He has to try you, purify you, so you can transform. And once you are transformed, then you can receive your inheritance. And then the wicked will receive their judgment. Okay, let us keep going. My delicate ones had gone rough ways and was taken away as a flock caught of the enemies. Be of good comfort, O my children, and cry unto Yahuwah. For you shall be remembered of him that brought these things upon you. For as it was your mind to go astray from him, so being returned, seek him 10 times more. Do you hear that, Israel? This captivity that we are bearing now, all the evils we have seen upon our people, it should make us what? Seek him more than ever before. For he will hear our cry. He will avenge us. He will deliver us. Verse 29, for he that hath brought these plagues upon you shall bring you everlasting joy again with your salvation. Take a good heart, O Yahrushalem, for he that give thee the name will comfort thee. Miserable are they that afflict thee, and rejoice at thy fall. See, those that afflicted you and rejoice at our falling, y'all, they don't know what's coming upon them. Do you hear me, America? You don't have any understanding what's about to come upon you. Let me read that verse again. Miserable are they that afflicted thee, and rejoice at thy fall. Miserable are the cities with thy children served. Miserable is she that received thy sons. For as she rejoiced at thy ruin, and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. See, they're laughing now, but they don't understand what is coming. Do you hear me, America? For all your evils, you have did upon the Hebrews, that the world today called black, Negroes, and the other bywords and proverbs. Destruction is coming. Judgment is coming. The same cup of wrath that was given unto Israel to drink, you shall drink from that cup now. Verse 34, I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude, and her pride shall be turned into mourning. Oh yeah, they pride for now. What they say, make America great again. But yet they cannot receive the evils that America has done. So he's going to take that pride they had and he's going to break them down. And soon they should be in a great mourning. What do the words say? Pride before destruction. Pride before destruction. Verse 35, for fire shall come upon her from the everlasting, long to endure, and she shall be inhabit of devils for a great time. O Yahrushalem, look about thee towards the east. Are we not over here in America looking towards the east? And behold the joy that cometh unto thee from YAHUAH. Did he not say he would be a little sanctuary unto us into the places that he scattered us among the heathen? Read Ezekiel chapter 11. When you understand the mystery of Daniel's 12 verse, I think it's 7 or 9, how he scattered the power of the holy people. Then you will understand this verse in 36. He said what? Look toward the east, and behold the joy that cometh unto thee from YAHUAH. Remember, did not the Messiah say, we are the temple, we are the tabernacle, and that the kingdom of heaven is inside of you and all around you? You got to understand that mystery. Verse 37. Lo, thy sons come whom thou sentest away. They come gathered together from the east to the west, by the word of the Holy One, rejoicing in the glory of YAHUAH. So that would end the word for tonight. I hope y'all enjoy the book of Baruch. There are some future prophecies that pertain to this generation concerning Babylon, the Hebrew Israelites, and to the other nations of this earth. When you have some spare time, I had come across some other books that are written by Baruch, okay? And I'm going to take you to that website. That website is listed in the video description box. And there is a second Baruch, and there's a third Baruch. Now, when you go to the pseudograph site, it's titled Pseudograph, Apocrypha, and Sacred Writings. When you scroll down to, I'm trying to get to it. When you scroll down to Pseudographia, you will find the book of Baruch listed under that title. The book of the Apocalypse of Baruch, also known as Second Baruch. The Greek Apocalypse of Baruch, also known as Third Baruch. That's where you'll find it. So I hope you enjoy this word for tonight, so you can hear what is the message that the Father is giving unto Babylon, which is America, as well as the message to Israel. Israelites, he has not forgotten you, but he wants you to understand of some things about this captivity. He wants you to understand the plan within the plan. And he needs you to graduate. You are going through your Job. And he is purifying you. He is refining you and trying you. And many are not grasping it. Many are not understanding it. Okay? You're welcome, sis. And based on the signs now, as we can see in the heavens and the earth, y'all, we are seeing that things are soon coming to an end so the new beginning can start. Okay? Again, the 7th month has a lot of deep spiritual meaning, because in the 7th month that's coming up, in that month we have the ending meeting the beginning, so the new beginning can come forth. It's a lot of deep spiritual message in that. But Israel isn't ready. And I say Israel's not ready. When you read the book, you will see that the condition of Israel and their hearts are in a very terrible state. And there's only a remnant among Israel that is grasping the sacred things of Yah. They are graduating from their Job, and they have the same mindset as the Father, the Son, and the Ruach Kadesh. But it's only a remnant of Israel. But for the rest, they're stuck. So these judgments that's coming upon the earth, y'all, it has to be done to save the righteous. Okay? The wicked gonna get what they gonna get, y'all, but it's about the righteous now. He got to save the righteous. And these judgment is going to push them unto him, and it's going to make them right. It's going to make them white. And I'm not talking about skin pigment. I'm talking about something deeper. It's a spiritual thing that will have them to be in the same image of the Father, the Son, and the Ruach Kadesh. That same image that Adam lost. Okay? So, this is a quick review on the title. The title for the word tonight is The Message to Babylon/America and to the Hebrew Israelites, with a focus on the 6th month known as Elul. For in that month we have the destruction of Yahrushalem by the Romans, and we know the number 6 represent the fall of Adam. Okay, this is why we see that the beasts come in the number 666. He rejoiced in that number. He takes pride in that number because Satan was the one who caused Adam to fall. Okay. You see also the beast copy the Father, the Son, and the Ruach Kadesh. So this is why they come in the power of 3 as well. Okay. Also with a focus on the book of Baruch, for the Father had put in my spirit to read that book, and I'm glad he did, because there are biblical prophecies in that book that pertain to this generation. And there is a message that this generation needs to hear more than ever before to prepare you for what is coming, because we don't have a lot of time. Things are winding down. Okay. I'm trying to think what else I need to say before ending this word. So I hope y'all understand the message. I pray that you share it. But most importantly, please get out YAHUAH prophetic messages for me. Please share those messages, put them out, share them with your family, with your friends, with strangers. because our Father is speaking, but many do not hear his voice. Many can't recognize when he is speaking. And because they don't recognize it or will not accept it, they're going to be in the dark on a lot of things, and they're not going to be ready for what is coming upon the earth now. All right, I have said enough in this video. Continue, my brothers and sisters, to preach that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. It is nigh. Make sure the people receive salvation as written in Romans chapter 10 and baptize them in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. It is Hebrew, and that name is the Son of God's name. He is the second Adam. He is the Messiah. Messiah means anointed one. Just as the Lamb set the example of the water baptism and the Holy Spirit baptism, as you read further, you will see that the apostle continued both baptisms. Do not be deceived by the Pharisees, Sadducees, and Herodians of today. Read that word for yourself, because you will see it in the old as well, and by the prophets. Okay? And I say shalom, good evening, and love you all.